thought I was a mythologist until I started watching Supernatural, and I realized I don't know anything about mythology. These guys must have guys who just sit in a room and just look for obscure mythologies, because I have had to dig into books I didn't even know existed to try to figure out where they got some of this stuff. So a few things before we get started. Number one, whatever beliefs you had when you came into this room, that is totally fine with me. I am not here to challenge, convert, or mess with anyone's belief system. I am just a messenger. Please don't throw slushies at me. All right. I had a woman throw an orange mango smoothie at me once because I mentioned some things she didn't like, and I'm not here to do that. All I'm here to do is talk to you about the stuff that they use to create the show and kind of what how the show differs from the real stuff. And also, I have to say this for legal reasons, because my publicist will kill me if I don't. This is all based on my own research. Nobody in Supernatural endorses what I say, or write, or do. And I'm glad they don't, because they probably hate me. And also, this got started last year. Despite what you may hear on the internet, I am not a close personal friend of Jensen Ackles. We went to junior high together. He was a cool kid. I was a fat, awkward kid. We didn't hang out. Like, he did his thing, I did my thing. We don't know each other. So please, I am begging you, do not ask me what he's like. I don't know. I haven't seen the man since I was 15 years old. I'm 34. Do the math. I have no idea what he's like, okay? Every single time I go to a place where there's a Supernatural fan, they're like, what's Richardson? I don't know. All I know is he was the guy all the girls were like, whoa, over in junior high. That's all I know. I know nothing else about him. Moving on. I just thought that was cute. I thought it was really funny. It's kind of outdated now, but I still think it's cool. Moving on. All right. So first thing I want to talk about is some really weird internet rumors that got started when the show first introduced angels. It was in the 3rd season. Number one, when the show first came on, it was scheduled on Thursday evenings, and somebody, I don't know who, went on the internet forums and said that Castiel is an angel of Thursday. Castiel, by the way, is one of the central characters to the show. He's an angel and ally to Sam and Dean Winchester, who are the main characters. And they're like, well, he's an angel of Thursday. That's what they're doing, because the show's on Thursday, and he's an angel of Thursday. It makes perfect sense! But the problem is, he's not the angel of Thursday. What the person did was, they looked at Thursday, and they saw that Castiel was one of the angels of Thursday. The problem is, he's not the angel of Thursday. There are like 12 other angels who are angels of Thursday. He's also an angel of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. So, you know, he's still, you could say, he's the angel of Friday. It makes perfect sense, because the show's on Friday. But it was a problem. So, and I was trying to figure that out, because I was doing my research. I'm on the internet, and they're saying, Castiel is the angel of Thursday. And I'm like, where are they getting this? I can't even find it on Wikipedia, and I hate that place. And so I looked around, and I realized what they had done was they looked at the basically schedule, which angels have one, as any good employee does. They had a schedule where there are certain hours of the day when certain angels in angelology are basically at their most powerful. And depending on the day, it's at a different hour and time. And Castiel happened to be one of the ones that is the angel of Thursday, but he's not the angel of Thursday. I think I've covered this topic well enough. Next is Zechariah, which I always thought was really interesting, because there is no Zechariah in angelology. There's Zechariah in the Bible, but he's not an angel. And so I had to figure out what they were doing, and I realized there is an angel called Zechariel. And this is a thing called, I think if I'm saying this correctly, theosophy. In theosophy, there are two words that are used for God. One is Jah, or Yah. The other one is El. They mean the exact same thing. One's a proper noun, and one's a title. So Zechariel means the same thing as Zechariah. It's the same word, basically. So instead of making it obvious, they had to change the name up, so that way we had to look for it. Because apparently they enjoyed causing me misery. So, Zechariah, you're not going to find an angel named Zechariah in the Bible, because there aren't any. There are some really creepy websites that talk about it, but there is none in actual mythology. And the third angel that I want to talk about, that I think is really interesting, is Joshua. And I think it was Dark Side of the Moon is the episode where Sam and Dean go to heaven, and at the center of heaven is the garden, which is a really, basically whatever your mind perceives the center of heaven should look like, that's what it looks like. For Sam and Dean, I think it's the botanical gardens, because they went there on a field trip once, and they think the garden looks like I don't even remember where they were. But there's botanical gardens they once visited when they were a kid. And they meet Joshua. Now this one took me some looking. There actually is a verse in the Bible where a rabbi or priest of the ancient Jews, for whatever reason, and they're unclear about the reason, had been exiled. He'd been banished from the temple, and no one really explains why he's been banished from the temple. And basically Michael and a few of the cherubim show up, basically the mouthpieces of God show up, and they say, you know, this man has been lifted up. They come in and they say, you know, we need to allow him back into God's temple. And they take off his dirty clothes and they give him an awesome robe, and they clean his hair and give him this really cool mitre or crown or turban, depending on which translation you're reading. They give him a cool hat, basically. They give him an awesome hat. And the interesting thing is there's one verse where it says, if you will keep to my laws, I will make you as these. And as these is referring to the angels. And this is a weird situation because the only place in all of Judeo-Christian mythology where you find a human who is being turned into an angel doesn't happen. It's the only place in all of Judeo-Christian mythology where a human basically is said to have become an angel in the afterlife. And so, basically, God speaks to the angels and tells Joshua, you will be the keeper of my house or garden, depending on which translation you use. So that's where they got the whole Joshua thing. It also explains why the other angels don't really seem to like him very much, because they're kind of elitist. And obviously he wasn't born an angel. Technically they weren't born either. They were just made. But Joshua is kind of unique among all the angels. And he also says one of my favorite lines is, you know how God is with that whole wrath thing, which I love. That's a wonderful line. Old Testament God is all about the wrath.